Psychology shows us exactly how to quantum leap into our most successful timeline very fast, but most people get stuck in the woo woo. So, let me show you the science behind quantum jumping without working harder, without adding a fancy schmancy strategy, because it is simple when we know how this human machine really works and how to navigate it. So, number one is the energetic signal. And I said this is not going to be a woo woo teaching, and it's not, but energy is real. And at all times, as human beings, we are unconsciously sending out a signal out to the world, out to the universe, that is literally broadcasting a frequency of what is then sent back to us in a material manifested form. This is what people call manifestations, and this is what we label as reality. So, whatever happens, opportunities, people, when shit hits the fan, it's all a co creation of our frequency that we have been sending out. Now, if we don't like what we're getting and we want to change what we receive, and this can be, results, outcomes, love life, relationships, success, impact, whatever, we need to change what we are broadcasting. And so, how can we change our signal? Because it is an automation and it is something that we cannot consciously, direct. And so, it is hidden at a deeper layer. And this brings us to number two, which is the subconscious mind. Our subconscious is 95% of everything that we are, do, think, feel, and act. So basically, a lot of people stay stuck with mindset work and they even have incredible mindsets, but it's not getting them anywhere because it is only 5%. So when we look at the subconscious world and the pattern that are hidden beneath our problems, because something that I keep saying is the problem you see is not the problem you have. It's just a symptom of what is really happening at a deeper layer. So when we find a pattern, we can trace it back to the root, which is not what happened to you when you were 5 years old. It's not childhood trauma. It's not, when you were bullied and that is like still influencing you. Yes, these things do matter, but when I talk about the root, I talk about the subconscious code that is installed in your brain. And that code doesn't really matter what it says, is seen as safe and normal by your systems. So if that code is actually sabotaging your dreams, your goals, where you want to go, who you want to be, well, you're not going to get there. And it makes logical sense for why you're not getting what you really, really want, and maybe even are working very, very, very hard for. And if that subconscious code is rewired in a way where it's actually not just, letting us not sabotage ourselves any longer, but actually, fast tracks us forward into the direction of what we want, and it makes us a natural match for our desires, well, quantum leaping becomes very, very simple. And this brings us to number three, nervous system, because what we think and what we believe and what we have stored as normal then gets translated into our bodies, and that then creates how we feel, our frequency baseline, so our emotions that we feel on a daily basis when we're not doing anything, when we're not being distracted and we're just being our regular selves. This is when so many people actually start feeling sad, depressed, confused, angry, and there's no reason why. And it's because for the first time, you are rejecting everything external and you're just being, and that is your natural frequency. If that is your case, don't worry, you can actually bring that baseline up and you can improve. But this baseline and how we feel translates into, our somatic reactions. So how we feel physically, our well-being, our mental health, and of course, our actions and behaviors. So what we then continue to do turns into habits, it turns into routines, and it turns into, decisions that happen on autopilot. Most of them we're not even aware of. Remember, 95% of what we do and what we are is subconscious. So when we train our nervous system, not just to, be regulated, which don't get me wrong is important, but that's not all there is, especially when you are a legacy builder, you are a dreamer, a visionary, an entrepreneur, and you have, big ass goals and you are in the arena, what you want to do is stretch that nervous system, expand its capacity, because you can only receive as much as you are able to hold. So when you want the big success, you want to be visible, you want to be famous, you want to have crazy impact, but your nervous system is shutting down and you are going into freeze mode, you're panicking, you're spiraling after you had the big success, it's not going to happen for you. And even if it is, it's going to feel like your own personal hell. We don't want you to be imprisoned. We actually want you to build that kind of success that feels freeing, that feels fun, that feels exciting. And in my free masterclass, How to 10x Your Legacy, I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you the psychology that the 1% all use but never teach for free. So comment 10x below and I'll send you the invite, or click on the link, and I see you in the room.